All right. Buckle up, everybody, because today we are going deep on Wes Anderson's fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
And let me tell you, this isn't just some, kids movie with talking animals.
Right.
This is, it's got, Oscar nominations.
It really does.
It's critically acclaimed, serious stop-motion magic here.
Like a masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely.
A masterpiece.
And it's got those layers, those little things you might miss the first time you watch it.
It's so true. What really gets me about this film is how Wes Anderson takes, Roald Dahl's book and he makes it his own,
Right.
It's got this style,
Yes.
It's just beautiful to look at, but it's also got a lot to say.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to try to do today. See how he does it,
Yeah.
how he gets this incredible detail and these, big, important themes and this, humor that's so smart.
Very clever.
But also, really genuine, heart,
Yeah. I think we should start with what just grabs you right away when you watch it, the look of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is not like your typical animation.
It's so different.
Oh, totally different.
Yeah.
It's like a feast for your eyes, but in a whole other way.
It really is. It's like walking into one of those super detailed doll houses.
Oh, yeah.
Like the kind you'd see in a museum or something.
Well, right, exactly.
You can almost feel the texture,
Yes, totally.
Like Mr. Fox's fur.
You can see
the wood in his den.
The grain of the wood.
Yeah.
The stitching on the clothes.
And how does he do that?
It's all about stop motion.
Ah.
It's really bringing these things to life, frame by frame.
Wow.
I mean, the puppets are works of art themselves.
Right.
They have all these little replaceable parts to get those, facial expressions. And for this one, Anderson wanted it to feel kind of rough,
Yeah.
like handmade.
Yeah.
So you really see, if you look close, those little fingerprints on the props.
Oh, wow, yeah. So it's he's not hiding the imperfections, he's actually highlighting them.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
And that kind of ties into the whole theme of the film,
It does, right? Like being yourself.
Yeah, being yourself, being real, authentic.
Yeah. I think the fact that he chose stop motion says a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's doing CGI now, right?
It's everywhere.
Right, it's everywhere. So it's he's saying, I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
He's celebrating those imperfections.
And making each character unique.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not just the puppets, though.
Right.
It's his whole style,
Absolutely.
Everything's symmetrical. The colors are so specific.
Right.
And the stop motion just kind of takes all of that and makes it even more, I don't know.
It enhances it.
Yeah. Otherworldly, even.
Yeah. And the colors,
Yes.
they're so interesting. It's all these earthy tones, browns, oranges, yellows.
I love that.
And it makes you think of fall,
Oh, yeah.
Things are changing.
Right.
Shedding their old skin.
Yeah.
Which, that's Mr. Fox's journey, too.
Okay. Speaking of Mr. Fox, for those who haven't seen the film, what's the story about?
No spoilers. But
yeah, no spoilers.
Basically,
just the basics.
Mr. Fox is this really charming, witty fox,
Okay.
And he's voiced by George Clooney, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's trying to settle down, be a responsible dad,
right,
a husband.
Yeah.
But he just can't help himself.
Oh.
He's got this wild side.
So it's not just, the way the movie looks that's got those layers.
No, not
the story itself is deeper than it seems.
It really is. It's about this, struggle between the wild and the, tame parts of himself.
I see.
It's not just stealing food from these farmers. He's wrestling with some pretty big questions.
Yeah.
About, who he is, what he's supposed to be doing, being true to himself.
Okay, but it's still funny. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it's from what I've seen, it's hilarious.
Oh, it's really funny. And the humor is really important. It fits right in, and never feels forced.
Yeah.
And he's got this dry, kind of deadpan style.
You'll love that.
Which works so well with the stop motion.
Yes.
There's some slapstick, sure, but it's more about the words they use, the characters, and his timing is just perfect.
Do you have a specific example?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that scene where Mr. Fox is trying to get psyched up for a heist?
Oh, yeah.
And he does this weird dance with his shoulders.
Yeah.
It's so subtle, but it kills me every time.
And it's so him, you know?
It's totally him.
Yeah, it's those little details, the way the animators bring the characters to life, you know? Like they're real, you know, they have these personalities.
It's that nuance that takes it beyond just a joke, you know?
Yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah, it does.
So we've talked a lot about Mr. Fox.
We have.
But what about the rest of the cast?
Oh, they're amazing.
I mean, it's like a who's who of Hollywood, right?
It really is. And that's part of what makes this film so special. The voice acting is just top notch. You've got Meryl Streep as Mrs. Fox.
Oh, wow.
You know, and she's like the voice of reason. She's got this quiet strength.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jason Schwartzman as Ash, their son.
Uh-huh.
And he adds this whole other layer of complexity to the family. You know? He's dealing with all the usual teenage angst.
Right.
But, you know, his dad's a famous fox thief.
So it's like a heist movie with a family drama with puppets.
Exactly.
And I love it. I mean, this is why we deep dive you guys, you know?
This is it.
You start seeing all these connections, these layers, and we've only scratched the surface.
We really have.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating to me that the humor, those visuals, they never overshadow those deeper themes. They actually, like, work together.
They enhance it.
And make those themes stronger.
Okay, I'm totally hooked. I want to keep talking about this. But I think we need to move on to part 2.
We do.
This is one deep dive I definitely don't want to rush.
I agree. Okay, so let's dig into those themes a little more.
Yeah.
One that really stands out to me is this whole idea of, like, individuality versus conformity.
Mm-hmm.
You see it most clearly in Mr. Fox himself.
Yeah, he's always trying to balance that wild side with being, you know, civilized.
Right, exactly.
But you can tell he's not totally comfortable in that, like, buttoned-up world.
And that's where those visuals come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about that contrast between the world above ground, all those, like, manicured lawns, straight lines, very ordered.
Very,
and then the world below.
Right.
With the animals' burrows.
Yeah.
All organic and sprawling and kind of messy.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
It's like the world above is all about fitting in,
right,
following the rules.
Yeah.
And the world below is about, like, being yourself. Freedom, exactly.
Yeah, and Mr. Fox is caught right in the middle.
He's always going back and forth.
Yeah.
Drawn to that excitement of the heist, but also, you know, he's got a family.
Responsibilities.
Yeah, he can't just be wild all the time.
Right, and I think that's something we can all relate to, right?
Totally.
Like that pull between wanting to break free, do your own thing, but also wanting to belong, be part of something bigger.
And that's where the idea of community comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Mr. Fox is the star, but the film is really about everyone working together.
It is,
Like, they all have to help each other out to survive.
And they're such a diverse group, too.
They are.
You've got foxes, badgers, weasels.
All with their own personalities.
Quirks, strengths, weaknesses.
Exactly, and they need each other.
Yeah.
It's like the film is saying true strength comes from, like, embracing those differences.
Recognizing what everyone brings to the table.
Exactly. Which is such a great message, especially these days.
When everything feels so divided.
It's like a reminder that, you know, we can achieve more when we work together.
When we collaborate instead of compete.
Yeah.
So we've got these visuals, the humor, these themes, and they're all connected.
They're all woven together.
Like a tapestry.
Yeah, and even the things some people might not like about the film.
Oh, okay.
That's part of it, too.
Like what?
Well, some people think the pacing is a little fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it jumps around a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And some of the characters aren't as developed as others.
Right. But do you think there's a reason for that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of reflects Mr. Fox's energy.
His quick wit.
Yeah, he jumps into things.
He does.
But it also keeps things moving, you know?
Yeah.
You're always on the edge of your seat.
And speaking of those, like, exciting moments.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the animation for a second?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there are scenes in this film that are just, like, breathtaking.
It's beautiful.
Like, remember that scene when Mr. Fox and his nephew, Christopherson, are raiding Boggis's farm?
Yeah.
And the camera's, like, flying through the trees with them?
Oh, that's a great scene.
It's incredible.
That's stop motion at its best.
It's like a dance, you know?
It really is.
And the music, too.
Oh, the music is amazing.
Alexandre Desplat.
So good.
It's perfect for the film.
It adds so much to the story.
Yeah, and sometimes it even takes center stage.
Yeah.
Like that scene where Mr. Fox is digging.
It's digging, yeah.
And it's just him and this driving beat.
It's like a montage.
It is, yeah.
Of pure effort.
And you can feel his determination.
He's not giving up.
There's that resilience again.
They're like, we might be small, but we're not going down without a fight.
Exactly. And even when things are tough, there's always that humor.
Always.
Like when Mr. Fox loses his tail.
Oh, yeah. And he makes that joke, I guess I'm a one-tailed fox now. Should have listened to my father.
Classic.
It's like, they can still laugh.
Even in the face of danger.
Yeah. And that, I think, speaks to the film's message.
What's that?
That no matter what, you keep going.
You keep going. Yeah.
You find a way.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Fantastic Mr. Fox, it's more than just a fun stop-motion movie.
It really is.
It's like, it shows you what you can do when you break the rules.
With storytelling.
Yeah, and it's inspired so many people.
Filmmakers, animators.
Yeah, it proves that stop motion can be just as powerful as any other kind of animation.
Absolutely.
And it still connects with people, no matter how old they are.
It does.
It makes you laugh. It makes you think.
Yeah, and it makes you want to embrace your own wild side a little bit.
It does, yeah.
But what's really interesting to me is that for all the fun and the beauty, this film asks some really tough questions.
About what it means to be human.
Well, Fox, in this case.
Right. Right.
But you get the idea.
Yeah.
It's about identity, responsibility.
That struggle between who we are and who we want to be.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be getting into in part 3.
All right. So we've talked about how this movie looks, the laughs, and even some of those deeper themes.
Right, right.
But let's get to the heart of it. What makes Fantastic Mr. Fox so good?
Okay. Yeah.
Those questions it asks about, like who we are and the choices we make.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting to me is that Mr. Fox, for all his charm, isn't always like a good guy, you know?
Yeah.
He's selfish, impulsive. He makes decisions that put other people in danger.
Yeah, he's not your typical hero, is he?
No, he's not.
There's that, like, darkness underneath.
Absolutely. And Anderson doesn't shy away from that.
Right.
He lets us see Mr. Fox's flaws, those moments where he doubts himself.
And I think that makes him more real, right?
It does, yeah. He's not perfect. He's just trying to figure things out, like everyone else.
And that struggle, that's what the whole movie's about, right? Yeah, that battle between his wild side and wanting to be a good husband, father, you know, part of the community.
It's like a classic story, but with a fox.
Exactly. But instead of fighting dragons, he's fighting his own, like, inner demons.
Right. And he does it through these crazy heists and escapes.
Which is so much fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
But it also makes you think, you know.
There's that scene towards the end where they're trapped underground.
With the farmers.
Yeah. And it seems like there's no way out.
And Mr. Fox just breaks down.
Yeah. He admits everything.
His mistakes. How he's hurt people.
It's a really powerful scene.
It is. It's like he's finally being honest with himself.
And with everyone else.
Right. And that's where he finds, like, redemption.
Not by doing something heroic.
No, just by accepting who he is.
And wanting to change.
And what's interesting is he doesn't lose that wildness. You know, he doesn't become, like, totally tame.
Yeah, he just finds a way to, like, balance it.
Exactly.
With his responsibilities.
Yeah. And that's a great message for everyone, I think.
It is, yeah. It's like you don't have to choose between who you are and who you want to be.
You can be both.
Embrace all of it, the good and the bad.
And that's why this movie is so, like, timeless, you know?
Yeah.
It's about wanting to be true to yourself, finding your place in the world.
And it does it in such a creative way.
With those visuals, the music, the humor.
It's a movie that stays with you.
It really does.
And makes you think about your own life, your own choices.
What matters to you.
Yeah, and I think that's what great art should do, make you think differently about things. So as we wrap up this deep dive, is there, like, one question you want to leave our listeners with?
That's a good one.
Something for them to ponder, you know, based on what we've talked about.
I'd ask them to think about, like, what's their wild side?
Okay.
What are those instincts they might be hiding or ignoring?
Right.
And how can they, you know, embrace them in a way that feels good, that feels true to who they are?
Wow, that's a great question.
It's like those journeys we take to understand ourselves.
They can be the most rewarding.
Exactly. And, you know, maybe embracing that wild side is the key to a happier, more fulfilling life.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we'll leave you to think about your own inner fox.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep digging for those hidden gems.